So here's the welts. Now remember the other one I did a welt with two separate little welts. This one's one welt. So I've pinned it onto my piece with the interfacing on it. Now I'm folded it in half and I'm going to cut it. Excuse me, I got a tickle. So now again I'm cutting up to the Y. Now I don't like the way this pattern was drawn because I like the Y to be more like that. It gives me more meat to deal with, and as you can see they did the Y really flat. It's almost nothing. So what I'm going to do to compensate from that is if I start sewing here, then I can make the Y more like that. It can be bigger, okay? So that's what I prefer to do. But I'm cutting the hole exactly from tip to tip of the Y because that's going to fit exactly what I have there. Okay? So now I can take this. Hand me the jacket, please. So I take this, and according to the instructions on step number 4, they wanted me to trace it. I didn't trace it. I'm going to take the, here, I'll look at this. Oh, it's interfacing. Okay, I've already interfaced the garment, so that's, they want me to take this and sew it to the pocket. Now, when I saw this pocket, I was a little alarmed because there weren't 2 of them, but I realized, look at how long it is. It's going to be folded in half like this because the jacket is short. It's only a little short pocket. It's not really meant for a whole bunch of stuff to go into. So they want me to take this and apply it to the pocket like this. So I'm going to just take it and I might zigzag it on. So, okay, now I've got this on the pocket. Okay, so now I've got to put the exact same hole in it. Don't ever try to cut it, fold it in half. Make an opening that you can get into, and then cut it singly. All right, so now I've got the hole in both pieces. And they wanted me to have a welt on the bottom piece too. I need to make that. It would be a solid piece without the hole so that when this goes over it like this and the pocket is open, you see fabric, not lining. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. All right, so now again, I'm sewing this on with the jacket almost already made. Oh, if you look at this right here, having cut this, this is already coming apart. I got to put it back together. So let me repair that. All right, there. All right, so now that's back together and it's solid. I need to take this and put it in on top, and see what I'm doing is lining up, see that corner to this corner, and then this corner to this corner. This allowed me to perfectly mark this without drawing on the fabric. So I'm going to put this, and now this, it should end up being almost exactly the same size. It's a little more, this is better to do before you've put the whole jacket together, if you're going to do the welt. Now my main goal now is to make sure it's all flat. Any bubbles are going to be a problem. Okay, so let me see what the instructions say next. All right, stitch the 2 lines. Okay, I'm going to stitch the 2 lines just like I did before. This determines, again, the size of the welts and the size of the pockets. But because I don't like their wide, I'm going to make my welts a little smaller. So I'm going to start sew from here, and I'm going to go a little bit further back because I've got plenty of room. Okay? Now, the main thing I got to do is make sure I sew straight now. Now, here's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at my needle. I'm looking at this line come into that sliver right there. When I look at that, oh, let me move my hand. When I look at that, it keeps me straight and keeps me even. So I'm going to try, this is my first time ever doing this. I'm going to try to make little bitty welts. Take this out because it's in the way now. Go down a little further. Okay, so do you see the line I just sewed? All right, so now I've got to do the exact same thing. I'm going to turn it this way. And I need to sew exactly across from that point, just the same as I did in the welt I did in the sample. So there. You were so in my way.
I'm trying to keep the lamp.
I know, no, but I need it because I can't see. All right, we'll see if this works. If it doesn't, I have to take it back and start over. Okay, now I can't see the mark because it's under the pressure foot. Okay, that looks good. There it is. I did a little less. I did a little more than 1/8 of an inch this time. So I should end up with a 1/4 inch pocket is what I'm hoping. We'll see what happens. Right. But I just...
white cut yet?
Not yet. I'm about to do it right now. So the main thing I need to do, are these even? That's a little crooked. I'm going to see if I can still work with that. Okay. So I've got my 2 lines. I shrunk it. I made them like 1/8 of an inch. I just want to try this. And I don't do a welt pocket every day, so it's an opportunity. So where are we now? What do they say now? I got to make sure under here everything's flat and clean. It is. All right, so I've done this. I'm not reading this. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna do it my way. All right, so now I'm gonna do the Y cut. And again, my same criticism of Chad. Okay, so now I'm going to go to there. I'm trying to make this little Y as long as it can be. Okay, do you see it? Little bitty Y. Okay, so now I need to press. So the first thing I need to do is press this up. So the seam allowance on it is going up. I'm not pressing it open. And I'm pressing the welt all the way down to the end, okay? Having pressed it up. See? Now pull this down and do the same to this one. Excuse me. I know that got recorded.
I'm going to show you some of Jarvis.
I'll tell you. So now, here's what has to happen. I've got to wrap this around, fold it in, just like that, get my little end open like that. I don't like this kind because it gets thick, but if I do it right, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, now I see, now I want to make this a little cleaner. So see all this thickness in here? Clean it out. Just make it smooth. You're like, what are you cutting? I'm cutting to make sure it stays 1/8 of an inch all the way down evenly. No lumps, no bumps, clean. And I probably could have done it before I pressed it up. It's just got trash in it. Okay. So now push it all in. So now, one at a time, let me get the lining out of the way. See how I'm able to form a welt? And what I've done is I'm stuffing it almost with that little piece of 1/8 inch seam allowance. So I gotta make sure it's all going up, which it is. Oh my God, I did it. It's a little bitty welt. Look at that. I can do big ones in my sleep, but I've never tried a little. I've always wanted to do a little fine one. And for Kelly, it's worth it. I like her. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm trying to maintain that the end of the pocket is square. Okay, now tuck this one in. Look at that. But see how it's caved on the end? I can't let it cave on the end. I've got to maintain it's thick. See, there's nothing down there on the end because it's cut like a Y, remember? So I have to puff it up on the end. Like that. So I'm trying to make these lips kiss. See how it's easy for that to roll and be like that? I need it to go in and come. Let me show you on the other side what it looks like. Okay, see down here on the end? It has to be flat there and roll up like that. And then this has to be flat there. And then, so now I've got, see that little pleat at the bottom? That's what I've got to maintain. Yeah, I got to stitch it down. Now on this end, I got to do the same thing. See, it's spreading open. Okay, it's got to cool off. All right, now I've got these. See, now it's like, It's almost like zigzagged in there. I don't know how to describe it. I know. I don't know how to describe that. So now, my job is to take pins and solidify it. Chair always has to be moving. Can't be still. That's for lazy people.
I think it'd be thinner.
Okay, so now I'm going to get this one. So now I have to pull this back like this. And see my little Y piece? There it is. I got to sew this down. Okay? So let me get that. I did it this time, but it's little. Everything is smaller than normal. All right, now one thing I want to show you. I just did the Y on that one.
Were you able to roll it and fit it the way you wanted to?
Yes.
I kind of missed that part.
Yes, I did. I'm wondering if you were having a party over there by yourself. Okay, so see, if I did it too close, now I'm going to pinch this. See what I would get?
Oh, yeah.
That's bad. It has to be right in that little divot, right there. Okay? And you see the welt is square. It comes across, down, and over. It's a little fat right here. I want it tight. Because I have to sew all this down. All right, so now on this end, I've got to do the same thing. But what I'm doing with these pins is holding the integrity of the width of it at the end. Okay, so now I pull this back. There's my little Y. See here? Push. Remember how the other two I had to push the lips together? That's that fold I was talking about. Can you see it now? So I push these two together and get the Y. And now I sew that. In the little crevice, at the little crease. There's, and even making it a little longer, I still got enough meat down there to hold it on. It's on good. Okay, so now you see the ends are down. Now I've got to stitch in the ditch all the way around with the pocket open, like this, to sew down the welts. This is actually stitching the ditch this time.
This seems like a huge pain in the ass.
It's a lot, but it's the best way to get these fine ones. Thank you, Ponspa. In the only, I don't have to do the ends. The ends already been sewn. Okay, so now it's clean and it's solid. I can pull on it, it won't move, and see how straight and clean it is? So let me get this side, make sure everything's open. Okay, I'm having a hard time, it's thick. Getting it under here.
That's another team welt.
Yes, it's the same one.
But you usually stick in the ditch.
Yeah, I have to. The others were folded in half when I sewed them on, so I didn't have to do this, but they were bigger. This one's smaller. So I'll show you on the other side what I just did. Oh, the foot just fell off. Okay, so what I just did was stitched and made the welt hardcore solid. Now, this comes back up here like this, gets sewn to that. I go down the side, and it's actually a pocket. But what I don't want to happen is for her to breathe and have this. So I'm going to take one of these, cut it out of fabric, sew it to this end so that when I put it there, when she breathes and opens, that's what you see. Okay? Okay? Okay, so stop right there. Let me cut